Do this properly, right? Salute, my unit. Amped up with BC for Thursday, December 19, 2024. A salute to all my unit. Hopefully you guys are crushing your Thursdays already. Right from the jump, full disclosure, full transparency. Honest as I always am with you guys. This, and these are words you probably don't want to start any podcast or any show off with. But this amped up show is going to heavily feature Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a big part of our discussion on today's show. I know. Why do we need to talk Logan Paul, BC? Well, there's some big news, man. Huge. In and out of WWE, but it all equates back to WWE, so it has to be talked about. And it's really big. It really is, all of it. So we will try to make it, obviously, as we always do on this channel. We'll make it entertaining. We'll drop one fact after the other. It'll be interesting, thought-provoking, amplified discussion, I assure you. But Logan Paul, we're going to have to spend a minute on Logan Paul, guys, all right? So that's in the cold open teaser. I'm just letting you know that. We got numbers for you. We're going to talk Raw's rating. We're going to talk Saturday night's main event. Wait till you hear this number. If I hear one more it's the best era ever. It's the Triple H era, and he's cooking, and it's the best. Better than Attitude. If I hear that again, and then you give me that Saturday night's main event, and I'm adding streaming numbers, guys, because it was also streamed. And that's one of the biggest things, right? Ratings don't mean as much, or they don't tell the full story, because a lot of people are streaming now, right? There's cord cutting, there's highlights, there's streaming. Well, I'm going to add streaming numbers. And by the way, this didn't air on no USA Network or Sci-Fi. No, this was on NBC, National Broadcast Channel. So we'll go over that number as well. This is when you talk hugely, highly disappointing for World Wrestling Entertainment. Not even they thought it would be that low. We'll talk about that as well. And then WWE did make a huge call. It had to be made, right? These wrestlers deserve honesty. They need to know who is going on last, whether it's Roman and Solo or Punk and Rollins. Well, WWE made the decision. Was it the right decision? We talk all about it. So we're going to get into all of that. That's your cold open teaser. I do want to give a big shout out to every one of you guys that caught that Monday Night Raw review. That was our last amped up, actually, because we were sidetracked with a lot of business yesterday. No amped up for yesterday, Wednesday the 18th. So our last amped up was the Monday Night Raw review, and you guys crushed that. You guys said, BC, you crushed it. BC, what a review. But you guys, man, you guys were rocking out as well. I'm glad you not just enjoyed that review, but were captivated by it. I love knowing that I can talk all of these facts, and we can talk realistically. And that this portion of the wrestling community, the Amplified unit, you guys not only understand and comprehend it, but you're fully on board with the change that needs to occur to get a better product. And that's something you don't see, right? Especially in 2020, we're conditioned to kind of just go with the flow because they're telling us it's a new era. It's a Triple H era. Vince is gone, H is in. So no matter what we get, let's just accept it. And you guys, my unit, you don't. And that is so epic. There's individuals that will come across the channel and they just don't agree. No, I love everything that's happening. I disagree. No, thank you. And then there's people that come across the channel and like, dude, wait, that's exactly what I've been saying. Or people that come across the channel and they're like, I never even thought of it that way. We could be getting better. That's the coolest thing. When you could put up an upload like that and it really resonates. And this past Monday night's review, man, did it resonate. And we all just came together and just said, no, enough, dude. Like, what do we do? Like, I don't even have my Raw notes from Monday in front of me. So if you were to tell me, BC, what do you even remember from Monday night? Nothing good. I literally, the first thing that comes to mind is PD Dunne still being upset that R-Truth is calling him Butch. So they're going to have another match next week. Another one. We already saw that match end clean 2 weeks ago. In a roll-up, mind you. So that's the best you have? PD Dunne for 2 months is pissed off that R-Truth is calling him Butch. You have Zoe Stark, Caden Carter. I don't even know who the third person was, but one of those weird triple threat matches. And Zoe Stark pulls out a win out of nowhere, to which the crowd is like, okay. What is that? Is Zoe going to become the first IC champion now? Is that how you're going to book her properly? You're just going to throw a title on her? That worked really well for the Motor City, didn't it? That was an epic fail instantly. They had to take the titles right off of them. What else happened on this show? I can't even tell you. Punk and Rollins. That should be an epic feud, man. You'd have to work extra hard, double time, to ruin that feud and story. All they had them do this week is pull them apart brawl. One of Hunter's go-to things. He does it for everybody. Just pull them apart. Refs, suits and ties, pull them apart as they brawl. It's called a pull-apart brawl. He does it all the time. He does it too much. So it's not even interesting. We've already come to that fork in the road? Punk and Rollins are just getting pulled apart already? Wow, man. Lack of substance. What else happened on this damn show? Wyatt's not even on it. Wyatts were not even on the show. They had the payoff with Final Testament last week. All 8 dudes in there. Uncle Howdy getting pinned via baby powder. And this week, it was announced that next week, Miz will be taking on Dexter Lumis one-on-one. So the storyline is actually going backwards. We already saw the payoff with both factions and Howdy losing. So now we're going to a bunch of one-on-one matches to eventually, in a month or two, get us back to the 8-man tag, where maybe the Wyatts get their revenge. That's the best storyline you have for the Wyatts and Final Testament. What else? New Day. New Day was the hottest thing a couple weeks ago. New Day was barely on this show. I don't even know if they ever went to the ring. I didn't have it in my notes. Maybe I blinked. Maybe I went and got a coffee. New Day was basically just nobody wanted them in the locker room. Rey Mysterio, the locker room leader, was like, sorry, dude, we're going to miss you. You're not allowed in the locker room. Wow, did the New Day thing cool off really quick? That's not nitpicking. That's not being negative. That's what happened. New Day was an afterthought. I don't even think we talked about the New Day on my Raw review, actually, come to think of it. That whole 50 some odd minutes, I don't think we mentioned the New Day once. And what was the big thing? Tag team champions were crowned. War Raiders, because they have their new name back. They've been back only for a cup of coffee. They've had about 3 or 4 matches tops, and we just got titles thrown on them. And we're all supposed to celebrate because H is cooking and his boys War Raiders won the tag titles. It's no different than when Vince did it. If this was Vince's booking, if you didn't know H was in charge, you would be trashing this. This is not the best we could be getting and should be getting, and you know it. Vince already put the titles on Viking Raiders or Viking Experience, whatever they were, back in October 2019, I believe it was, correct? Back in 20 years ago, Vince already put the titles on them, so it's not nothing new. Well, BC, Triple H is going to do it better, man. Hunter Helmsley is going to do it better, really. Like when he put it on his boys DIY and they held it for 21 days, 28 days, whatever it was. I don't want to skim them out on a week. 20 some odd days and the titles were taking off of them. Because he had to try this new experiment with Motor City. Yeah, we saw how that experiment went. So now all of a sudden they're back on DIY. Why? Because Johnny Gargano turned heel out of nowhere. So DIY in effect totally turned heel. At a time where New Day was turning heel on Monday Night Raw. And Street Profits were turning heel on SmackDown. But random morning of booking from Paul Levesque McMahon, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he just decided, hey, I know all these teams are turning all at once, but screw it, DIY, you turn as well, because I don't have anything else, and I have to get the titles back over to you. So Johnny, you just turn heel too, and we'll think about we'll make the Street Profits tweeners, and New Day, we'll try to keep them heel as well, going simultaneously on Raw. Try to keep up. Try. You have to work extra hard to keep up with Hunter's booking because it's that bad. Not in a good way, right? It's not some good mystery novel. This is pretty simplistic, bad writing. But you'd be surprised, man. So many are just willing to swipe it all underneath the rug and let it slide, let it go, because they're being told by Michael Cole it's the Hunter Hurst Helmsley era. What does that even mean? Confusing AF? Mid below average booking and creative? Because that's what we're getting. Again, I said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. Thank goodness Paul Heyman was overseeing the whole Bloodline segments and writing from day one. If Paul Heyman wasn't overseeing Bloodline, and even that for months on end at times, was not up to par. But for the most part, that got us through. Punk and Drew was the only other feud that we cared about, probably the feud of 2024. But if you look at the writing of it, they were just pull-apart brawls all the time. They made it come to life. They made the silly bracelet, a big storyline for an entire month. That was Punk and Drew bringing simplistic writing to life because they're that good. If you take any other two individuals, it's going to fall on its face. Other than that, you had nothing, man. They dropped every single ball that was thrown to them. And no, we cannot accept that. I wish more people did not accept that. And I'm glad that the unit does not accept that. Was a big Hunter Hurst Helmsley supporter back in the day, had all the shirts, the DX shirts, right? Helped Hunter get all the mansions in Stamford, Connecticut by buying all the merch, right? I did all the spritzing. I want to support what he does in the future, but you got to put your best foot forward. You have to deliver a good product. Whatever he calls himself, the Chief Creative Officer, CCO, or is it CO, whatever initials he has before or after, whatever cute little letters. If you are a Chief Creative Officer, you're an officer of creative. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking he's going to have a badge, some silly little costume, reading people their rights. I have no idea what that means. He's a chief creative officer. So he's an officer of creative, but he's not very creative. So you have to question, is he the right person for the job? Maybe be a president or something else, right? Be a big part of WWE. I'm fine with that. But can you let somebody else do the actual creative? Because this isn't even close to good. And on Monday night, we had enough. We did the deed. And you guys stood up and said, enough, BC, you are right, dude. If this is the new era that they're saying is better than Attitude, if this is the era they're saying is rebellious, this is the Rebellious Era as well, right? When they go to Netflix. Real Rebellious Raw is the tagline. What's rebellious? At this point, rebellious is standing up and just being honest. The product is nowhere near good. The good news is we all want it to be, and we're all going to offer the help to do such, right? We're going to offer that help to Hunter Hurst Helmsley. What he decides to do with it, that's up to him. But lately, he's too interested in wanting to be the superstar of the show. He wants to be the face of the company. He was front and center at this kickoff event for Netflix yesterday. Of course he was. He was the first name mentioned on Monday Night Raw when they talked about this big Netflix kickoff yesterday. And on Monday night, instead of mentioning all the superstars, they said, it's gonna feature Hunter Hurst Helmsley, Paul Levesque McMahon. And then they maybe said a couple more stars. If you look at the big Netflix promotional and all the ads, the marketing, it's all Hunter Hurst Helmsley. When they go overseas or they go out of the country for some big PLE, are you ready? Is what you hear. And there's Paul's face. It's everywhere. Right, but what's driving the ticket sales and the revenue? It's the little kids right now who they're trying to market to with this product. Right, the ones that won't say anything about it. They'll be there with their wooden bowls and wooden spoons. Please, sir, can I have some more? They don't care what kind of product they're getting. They're just going to show up and yell, "This is awesome." They don't care. And the kids are going to drag out their parents, and that's going to be the ticket sales. That's going to be the revenue. And that's why WWE's business model is booming. Their creative isn't booming. That's two separate things. But the business model is. So my thought process then goes to, okay, if these kids and their parents, why would they care about the chief content creative officer being the face of the company? Why are they seeing the creative guy? Creative, I'll use air quotes for that. Why is he all over the promotional, the shows? Why is it he that is pushing Kevin Owens after what Owens did on Saturday night's main event to Cody? Why wasn't it Nick Aldis? Wouldn't that be more special? You could even then go to a Nick Aldis-Kevin Owens feud and eventual match. How awesome would that be? Nick Aldis and Owens. All you had to do was have Aldis out there pissed off. Why was Hunter doing it? Hunter has a gimmick in his chest. He can't even wrestle. But no, he has to be out there at all times. The creative guy, the officer, has to always be on camera. When all this new audience, they don't know who you are. Just stay on the headset in Gorilla and spend your time being creative. Make the shows actually better instead of spending all of this time filming commercial after commercial, voiceover after voiceover. Are you ready? Going to these stupid little kickoff media scrums. Love to see the media, because I've yet to see actual media there. Sports Illustrated. There's a guy from Sports Illustrated, basically, right there. Instead of spending all of your time with your mug in front of the camera, just do some creative shit. That's all we're asking, man. All of this time that is used anywhere else than being creative. And then when the shows hit the airwaves, you're shocked that we have another pull 'em apart brawl. You're shocked that it's one random thing after another random thing after another random match. It's because he puts no care into it every week. Shows up, he had no time to think about the show during the week, so he shows up, he throws baloney at the wall wherever it hits. That person's going to take on that person. That's going to be a heel turn. That's a pull 'em apart brawl. That's a pull 'em apart brawl. 3 out of 6 matches will be fruit roll-up finishes. And we'll yell, "This is awesome," and it's the Hunter is cooking era. Anyway, that is my long-winded thank you to everybody, every one of you guys, man. And I've noticed that for a while, but especially on Monday's review, I see more and more people just having enough. Much love and respect to Hunter. We wish the best for him, right? But, or maybe you just don't like Hunter at all. So it's like, semi-love and respect for him, PC. But we do want the best because we love WWE. But no matter where you stand on Hunter, right, we want the best because it's going to be the best for the company, which in turn is best for us. But this, I can't even say I'm starting to think. I knew from day one, Hunter Hurst Helmsley is not the answer creatively. He's just not. It's sad to say, I know, because of a lot of fans, right? A lot of us grew up, and we watched Hunter Hurst Helmsley spritzing the water and saying, "Suck it." We understand. And he gave us a couple of good years of Black and Gold, right? When everyone said he was uber creative, but that was William Regal, Dusty Rhodes, and a lot of masterminds, guys. When you don't have a team of masterminds around you, you get booking like this. Or a lot of fans are like, "Damn, he was a lot better with Black and Gold." Yeah, well, he had a different team around him. And it's easier, too, when you're, the big fish in a small pond. But, you got to remember, he was best when he had 1 hour of television every single week, guys. 1 hour. That's all it was on WWE Network, I think it was. 1 hour every Wednesday night. I think it back then, right? Wednesdays, and then AEW kind of kicked it out. But he only had 1 hour. His little PLEs were given 2 hours at first. So he could only do about 5 matches, and that worked for him. And he had the right people. But I mean, you put that big fish in a much bigger pond, you're going to see if that fish can actually sink or swim. Anyway, there you go. I said a lot of Logan Paul, which is coming up, but man, I had a lot to listen to. This is a good double shot hazelnut latte from the fine folks at Starbucks, so it's got BC amped up. So that is a massive thank you to every single one of you guys. I appreciate that. And to show that thank you, too, to my channel members. I hope to be live later on between maybe 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. A live stream for my channel members only in the chat. If you're not a channel member, don't worry. I will still most likely put that up for everybody to listen to or watch. It is the YouTube machine. So if you want to listen or watch and you're not a channel member, it should still be up for you guys as well. But the chat will be for my members, so I can give a proper salute and thank you to everybody that holds an amplified card. And I know a lot of you guys are graduating recently, right? A lot of gold card members, year and under, you're graduating to that diamond card, year plus. And I even started to see some graduates to the coffee club, the gold coffee card, and that was really cool to see. That was literally the past couple of streams, so I'm starting to see that graduate process take shape as well, man. The coffee club is gaining its first members. That's 2 years plus of membership. So because of all of that, I want to do something special, even if it's only for like a half an hour. That'll be a little bit later on the channel, so make sure you're subbed and notified, obviously, because I'm not going to give a minute notice, not even a minute. We're just going to go live like last time. We're just going to go. I'm even going to be are we live? So that's what I mean, man. Stay subbed and notified, because I'm just going live with no notice. And I hope that there's some channel members in there so I can give you a proper salute. Appreciate you guys big time. Thank you. And thank you for that Monday Night Raw review. That was so cool to see everybody finally having enough and saying, Hunter, do better. Salute. So let's start off with, we'll save the Logan Paul stuff because there's a lot to get to. I want to start with WWE announcing their main event for Netflix, January 6th. A lot of people thought because it's Roman Reigns, it's obviously going to be Roman and Solo. But then they officially announced Punk and Rollins for the show. And it became evident, if you have any semi-sense of what you are doing, this is a no-brainer. This is pretty simplistic. Rollins and Punk has to be the main event. If you have any hope of having a second or even third match with them, which I'm guessing they're going to do, kind of like Drew and Punk where they had several, if you have any chance at doing that and keeping our interest, that has to be the main event. There's no way you start off or put that in the middle of that show for Solo Sikoa. We've already seen Solo pin Roman. We've already seen Roman pin Solo. And that's going to trump Punk and Rollins. I'm still stunned that this is the payoff. We really thought, man, when Punk came back and Rollins was genuinely heated, we really thought that they were going to build something special eventually. And it's been so weird. They're already pulling them apart this past Monday with no story depth. And then all of a sudden it's announced that they're having a match in 2 weeks. It's wild, right? I mean, you would have thought Royal Rumble would be a bigger stage, bare minimum, and possibly WrestleMania. No, Netflix. So then you say, well, BC, maybe the second match will be at Rumble. Okay, well, all right. By then we already saw it. So you hope to up the ante, right? Very rarely do sequels do better than the original. It happens, but very rarely. You have to put a lot of thought into it. So at this point, I'll say this. We all thought that Rollins-Punk would be the feud when it happens. Out of nowhere, like an RKO, Drew McIntyre and Punk became a better feud, I feel, than what Punk and Rollins are currently involved in now. And you say, well, BC, give it time. They just reignited it. Well, they're already having the matchup January 6th. But at least it is the main event. That's one thing they did get right. That shouldn't have even been a question, but that was a hot topic ever since Monday night, and it was announced. A lot of people were like, wait, where do you go then? And I'm like, that's not even a question, bro. It has to be Punk and Rollins. And a side note, a little asterisk as well, another match has been added for that event, Netflix's debut of Raw, January 6th. Liv Morgan will defend her championship against Rhea Ripley. So take that for what you will. I still, I know Ripley has a good base, a good fan base, and I do like Rhea, and I have no problem with them giving her the ball and a piece of the rocket. She just doesn't do much for me at all. This is my brutality, and I'm like, okay, going to get a coffee. I just, with all the females in WWE, I like to see Naomi do this. I like to see Tiffany Stratton do that. Even Chelsea Green do this. I really would hope that Jade improves so I can watch her dominate a lot. I love seeing Bianca, when booked correctly, doing her. Rhea Ripley is, I wouldn't even, not even top 10 on my on my list of like who I would. There's a guy, Zelina Vega, I would push beforehand. I would really give good creative and see Zelina Vega just capture so much momentum that she has unfortunately never been granted, whether Kennedy or Levesque. But Rhea Ripley is just to BC, she's another wrestler, man. She just has some size. But I don't. So I don't know. She wins this title, Netflix, which I'm guessing is going to happen. This is the things they kind of do. I don't see Cody dropping any title there. I don't see titles. That's the title I would think would change hands. A feel-good moment. Everybody's, right? Rhea's fans are ignited. It's not going to do much for BC. Really isn't. When I think of Liv Morgan and her title reign, I don't think just dropping it back to the person she was in the feud with from day one, Rhea. I would have something much more grand. But it is what it is, guys. Morgan versus Ripley. If you're thrilled for it, props to you. If you're a big Rhea fan, salute. Much love and respect. You're going to have a big night probably November 6th. For BC, take it or leave it. I could probably leave it. So that's going to be a big title match that was added. All right, let's go to some numbers. Here we go. Start with Raw's rating. They scored a 1.5 this week. Just up, and it's just there's no consistency anymore. It's not must-see TV. So you're averaging 1.4 to 1.5 before the Survivor Series post show when everyone needs to know what's up. So then that went to 1.7. And then it immediately dropped right back to between 1.3. It was in the 1.3s. 1.38 maybe. Right after they scored one. So 350,000 plus viewers said, okay, now we're out. Bye. We saw what we need to see. It's not worth tuning in next week. Then this week, it goes from that 1.38 to 1.53, something like that. So they get back $1.40 of that. Something like that. So 1.4, 1.5, 1.7, 1.3, 1.5. And I love how they went so low that when they do get back to a 1.5, now this is where the articles go. WWE with a massive bounce back and a rating success. 1.5. 1.5. I guess it's a pretty good business model, right? If you go so low for so long, and then all of a sudden you do a little better, right? They're like, whoa, they're on the uptick. 1.5. And if you want to talk 1.5, guys, listen to this. Saturday night's main event, scoring a 1.5 with 650K streaming. It was originally reported it was over 700. Then that was disputed. Now the newest number we're getting for streaming, Peacock, is 650. So even if you add that, let's make it 750, right? Let's say they change it again, right? It was a 750. Let's give them an extra 100,000 viewers streaming. How's that, guys? Make it 750 even. Put that on top of the 1.5. 1.5 on NBC. That's not cable. Highly marketed and promoted. Not at 11 p.m. or 12 midnight like when I was a kid and you had to wake up, right? And they were still pulling 20 million viewers. No, 8 p.m. primetime, heavily promoted. And they scored a 1.5 on big screen TVs, on broadcast television. And if you add the 750, I'm giving them an extra 100,000 viewers. They got 6. If you pull 750 on streaming, add that to the 1.5, you pulled a 2.2 sem-odd. 2.2. That's almost what you were pulling on SmackDown on Fox when they were averaging around 2.1 to 2.3. That's nothing more than a SmackDown. NBC and Peacock combined. WWE was not even expecting it to be that low. If only somebody was calling this out from the jump and saying this is not a boom era. Just because you're making a bunch of money, look at where and how you're making it. Doesn't mean the product is good. And eventually, because the product is not good, that money is going to run dry. If only there was a channel and somebody saying that, oh wait, that was us. It was BC. It was the unit. We were saying it from the jump. Nobody cares if you put a cute little tagline that says it's the Triple H era. What does that mean? Nobody cares. If they always see this guy's face on camera, if they always see him doing the commercials and everything, why are people going to care? Newer fans, why is the creative guy, I understand he used to be a wrestler, but okay, I understand he's Vince's doofus son-in-law, as CM Punk once said. But just because he's a doofus son-in-law, why is he always the face of the company? Why is Cody not doing this commercial? Why is LA Knight? Why is LA Knight not doing more? They put him in one Slim Jim thing and that was it. It was it. Let him do the whole Netflix thing, man. There's a transfer portal anyway. Nobody will blink an eyelash, right? Bat an eyelash, blink. Nobody will scoff at it. There's people, right? Real, rebellious, raw is the tagline. Let CM Punk do it, right? Rebellious CM Punk. No, it's got to be HHH. This is what I mean, man. The proof is in the pudding. It's in the numbers. You ain't even got to take BC's word. You can disagree all you want, but the facts are going to back up every word I spew. I tried to tell everybody, and the numbers back it up. And you can blame it on streaming, this, that, and the other thing. Cord cutting. This is NBC. No cord to cut. It's broadcast. You can literally get this for free. And then you add streaming as well. How's that? Add streaming too. Add on. And you're barely getting what SmackDown used to pull on Fox. And they weren't happy. Fox wasn't happy with that 2-1 to 2-3 average. But Hunter's cooking. But wrestling is cool again. But this era is better than the Attitude Era. But this is the best era ever. The more the wrestlers keep telling us that, you have to ask why. Why do you find it this need to keep telling us this is the best era ever? It's better than Attitude. Why do you have to keep telling us wrestling is cool again? Right? If it is all of these things, you wouldn't have to say it nonstop. You wouldn't have to keep trying to condition the audience to believe that. I am so thankful for this channel and for you guys. Nah, that doesn't work with us, man. You don't condition us to do anything. Because we're going to cut right through that BS. All right, guys. Waited long enough. Got to talk Logan Paul. Got to talk. Now it's just about which story do you want to go with first. Let's stick with the straight up WWE. He announced that he was retiring last week. It was loose, right? Then he immediately said like he's taking time off. But he said the word retired. Like he has no interest. There's no talks. I mean, this dude's done for a while. And then all of a sudden, he returned yesterday afternoon. Logan Paul returns to WWE. Wednesday at the Netflix kickoff event at WWE headquarters. Logan Paul said the following: I am a bully, and the WWE is my playground. I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over. Your approval means nothing to me. I don't care, because you're still watching, and you will stay watching, because you are a spectator, and I am a star. I promise right now you are looking at the future WWE World Champion, and his name is Logan Paul. End quote. So a lot to unpack there. First of all, he ain't retired, obviously, right? That was when we thought it was loose because immediately he said, I'm taking time off. He's not even taking that much time off. He's going to capitalize on some of that Netflix money. There's extra money in this than his current deal is even giving him, right? Logan Paul is going to get some of that Netflix money somehow January 6th. He's going to be a part of this show, whether it's announced match or him just showing up. But he's going to capitalize on Jake Paul, his brother, and that huge Netflix event that he had with Tyson just a few weeks ago. He's going to capitalize on that. Logan Paul is already talking about not just being back in WWE, but becoming champion of the world. And that, of course, is going to open up a whole new can of worms. That's going to open up a whole new can of conversation. Oh, no. BC, tell me they're not going to give him the title. Guys, Hunter is a huge fan of Logan Paul. I absolutely think Logan Paul is holding the championship, especially because these titles are just bouncing around anyway. It's random title matches, random title changes, not even on PLEs. You don't think Hunter would give that title to Logan Paul? The good news is Paul can go in the ring. Paul's really good. He's very athletic, but he just can't give WWE the time. And that's the problem when you're a champion and you're just never showing up. We saw that for 3 years with Roman. At least Roman could get away with it. Logan with the US title was starting to become a problem. So by throwing a world title on him, you just illuminated. You put the spotlight on the problem that was already existed and never fixed. So yeah, as much as I put Logan on a pedestal for many reasons, because he is really good and he got this thing really quick. He got it like Kurt Angle quick. Not a lot of individuals can do that. But I'll be the first to admit as well, with fans that have concerns with him holding a title, it just doesn't work unless he's willing to commit more. And what's showing BC that he's not willing to if he wins a world title soon is what he's got lined up. This is another massive announcement that was made even before Logan came back to WWE yesterday. 2 days ago, it was announced, or really took the airwaves yesterday morning. So that was the same day, man. It was first announced 2 days ago, but the world really started to hear about it yesterday morning. And then hours later, Logan came back to WWE. So this was a massive day for Logan yesterday. But what I'm referring to is the big confirmed boxing fight, Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor from the UFC. I believe he hasn't had a fight in a few years, though, since he broke his ankle or something, broke his leg. And I don't think he's fought since. And a lot of industry professionals are saying he's not even the same Conor McGregor anymore. So if anything, that makes this a little bit more even. But Logan is going to be fighting Conor. That's why Conor recently confirmed that. Because there was reports he was going back to the Octagon. He was going back to UFC. He's going to have a fight with X, Y, and Z. He said those are all false. I'm actually finalizing our talks with Logan Paul for a boxing exhibition. So Conor McGregor, Logan Paul. It's in India. That much we do. That's how far along they are. If you guys are wondering, like, are they literally like in the final stages of making this official? Yes, they're just dotting some I's, crossing T's, guys. They already know where it's going to be, India. Now, you got to believe this is going to be a Netflix deal, right? You'd have to believe Netflix is going to pay for this, but we'll see. That remains unclear. I got to believe the Paul brothers are really cashing in on Netflix. They're delivering for Netflix, so Netflix will pay them more. I think that's why you saw Logan Paul hot-shotted to this Netflix kickoff for WWE yesterday, and he's going to be a big part of that big Raw debut on January 6th. So, yeah, I do believe that, that should be a Netflix thing. But Conor McGregor, Logan Paul, man, that's going to be big boxing exhibition. But that's what I mean. He's got his hands in every cookie jar. He's going to be training for that more than anything. That's going to be his primary focus. Speaking of prime energy drink is constantly taking about 36% of his day. So you put a world title on this dude. How far is he taking that title? How far can the title take him if he's not there to show up and take the title? Right? The title is just sitting there lonely. Like, who do I belong to again? Is it Logan? Am I around Logan's waist right now? Like, I totally understand why people are like, dude, it's not best for business. But you got to remember who's the chief creative officer, right? He's an officer of creativity. This is a dude that will absolutely just throw it on there to try to get people to talk about Logan Paul and hope that it coincides with WWE, right? So when Logan is about to take on Conor McGregor and they're getting all of this ESPN and all this publicity, they're going to say, whoa, Logan's got the WWE title. So in that aspect, they're hoping that brings eyeballs to their product. Sad part is usually it doesn't. So in the process, simultaneously, you're actually hurting your product with the viewing audience that watches every week. Whether it's out of habit and hope or they really love this crap, because that's what it is these days, unfortunately. But no matter why they're watching, that's your audience. And you're going to hold that title hostage just so he can carry it over to a Conor McGregor fight. I don't know. I see pros. I see a lot of cons with that. But I absolutely see a place for Logan in WWE. He's that good. I never in a billion years would think throw a championship, a world title on him right now if he can't commit to more than 2 or 3 appearances a month. Because he can't. That's the Amped Up Show, Thursday, December the 19th, 2024. What a jam-packed show, man. I appreciate you guys big time. Later, like I said, if you're a channel member, stop by between 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. There'll be no minutes of notice, so you have to be subbed and notified. You have to be. That's the only way you're going to get notified. PC's live. That's it. So, salute. If you're not a channel member, I will most likely make that available anyway for everybody to listen into or watch as well. So, and I will have the supers up and going as well. If you're not a channel member and you want to throw a coffee at the channel, supers will always be live as well. So you could do that if you choose to as well. Never needed, obviously. Always appreciated, but it's a way for you guys to jump in on as well if you're not a channel member. So absolutely, supers open. Chuck a coffee at the channel if you want. But that's going to be later this afternoon. My appreciation to my channel members. I know a lot of people are graduating to the next membership level. I think that's so cool. Gold members turning into diamond members turning into coffee club members. It's so cool to see. So we'll do that a little bit later, man. But this is going to be your traditional Amped Up Show wrapping up now. Until next time, and there will be that next time 44 dive. That's a wrap. Check you. Salute. Deuces.